The Delaware Governor, John Carney, is joining us right now. Governor, thank you so much for joining us. Lots to discuss. Delaware, of course, is one of the few states right now still seeing some upward trend in new reported daily cases. How do you explain that?
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of an uptick. That is the result of an outbreak that we've had among poultry workers in the lower part of our state. You and I have talked about that, Wolf, but actually, with respect to the percent positive of the tests that we're doing, since we're doing so much more tests, that trend continues to decline. And most importantly, I think for us, as we move and look towards reopening, the hospitalization rate continues to go down, certainly stable. And that is a measure of the severity of the disease across our state. So we're using a series of indicators to move to the next step and gradually reopen parts of our economy. Your report did a really good job of framing the issue and striking the balance between the economy and the health of the community. It's not an either-or proposition. We have to have both, and that's what we're working on here in Delaware.
Well, where does that poultry plant issue stand right now?
Yeah, so we are in the process of testing every poultry plant worker. The percentage positive of those is lower than we expected, although we don't have all the data in. That's really good news. We have also been testing in the communities where the poultry workers live, and they live in very densely populated areas. We're talking mostly about Latinos and Haitian Creole speakers, as well as Caucasians and African Americans. And so what we've found is the testing that we've been doing in the plant has given the workers more confidence actually to go back to work, those who were not showing up, because they know that people who were positive were sent home, told to isolate at home, and they had more confidence with the testing that was happening in the communities. And we've just had an incredible effort by the local hospitals, community workers, and the plants in getting that done.
Dr. Rick Bright, the ousted vaccine chief, testified today before the House of Representatives, and he suggested the window of opportunity to fight this pandemic, in his words, is closing right now. He wants to see a coherent national strategy on testing, critical supplies, vaccinations. Do you see the Trump administration taking those steps?
No, I haven't seen that from the Trump administration. In fact, as we heard in your report, you see him backing away from some of those things in terms of a national policy and kind of being in denial about what's actually happening on the ground, having arguments with the scientists. That's not really helpful. We do need a national ongoing plan. All the states and all the governors are leading our individual states into a new phase, and we have to balance the needs of the economy and unemployment, the reports that you had earlier in this segment, with the health of the community. And the way to achieve that, and this is coming right from CDC, Dr. Fauci and his colleagues, is to more intensely test, isolate, do social or contact tracing, test and isolate those, and deal with the spread of the virus through that kind of a program, instead of the blunt instrument of a massive shutdown of the economy with the really negative effects it has on workers and businesses, both.
I assume you've been thinking about this, Governor. Delaware has already started a limited reopening, but if cases continue to go up, will you need to slow down that process?
We will. We'll have to assess the situation on the ground as we reopen, and we really have to lean into standing up an increased testing program. We have been able to identify several 100,000 new tests that are easy to administer, turn the test results around. We had a dry run in the lower part of our state, one of the small communities, and in a couple hours they were able to test 500 people, which is a big number in our state in a small community like that. So we're optimistic we can do that. We're going to call on the National Guard to help us with the contact tracing, to stand up that operation and really manage the risk. And in addition, where most of the deaths in Delaware have come from is those nursing homes and our senior population. Test all the residents of our seniors, our nursing homes, test the workers regularly as recommended by Dr. Birx in our White House task force conference call this week, and really protect those senior citizens who are most at risk.
The beaches in your neighboring states, New Jersey and Maryland, they're going to be reopening certainly by Memorial Day at the end of this month. What about the residents in Delaware who want to get out to the beach?
Yeah, so as we've discussed before, we haven't closed them down completely over the last several weeks. We've opened them just for individuals and spouses walking on the beach or exercising. I did announce today that over Memorial Day weekend, we will open the beaches with fewer restrictions for Delawareans, keeping in place our 14-day quarantine for out-of-state travelers and the limitation or the restriction on short-term rentals. And again, the idea is to slowly allow people to come back to the beaches, get the beach towns prepared for limiting the number on the beaches at any given time by parking restrictions. We do not, like New Jersey, have a beach tag system, as you know. Wolf, I know you like to enjoy our beaches here, so it makes it a little harder for us. This will be a real interesting exercise this next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, as we attempt to allow people to come back to the beaches, which are such an important part of the state of Delaware and the southern part, and do it in a way that's safe for everybody that comes.
Because as you know, and as I've said to you before, a lot of people who live here in the greater D.C. metropolitan area, they love to go to the beaches in Delaware and Maryland, and let's hope we can all do that, but we want to make sure it's safe in the process. Governor Carney, good luck to you. Good luck to all the folks in Delaware. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Wolf, and we hope to be able to welcome you back to our beaches soon.
All right, thank you very much. Let's hope.